live with the palaver. Hello, my friends. Uh-oh. Why is the screen frozen? I know why, because I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Hold on. There we go. You can't minimize Discord when you're on the Discord call, fam. When you do that, it freezes up the thing. Hello, everyone. It is Monday the 4th. How is everyone doing? It is time. Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 1 o'clock in the UK. And it's time for another palaver. And guys, I hope that you know my guest today. Sarah, a.k.a. TheKawaiiCub. One of my favorite new streamers that I've met on Twitch in the last, what did we meet? Like about a month, 2 months ago?
Yeah, I'd say about 2 months ago.
Yeah. Fantastic streamer. I try to pop into her channel at least once a week, but usually 2 or 3 times a week, even if it's sometimes like, I've got to shower and I've got to run to the store, but here's a lurk. But she's so fantastic. She's wonderful. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing really well, actually. Thank you. Had a decent stream today. It was very pleasant. Just been starting Fallout 4.
I was there for character creation. I tried to get you a link to the purple hair mod, and
yeah,
I felt a little guilty. I made a suggestion about, don't put endurance at 10 because blah blah, and then you did it, and I'm like, I shouldn't have said anything. Let her play her own game. Let her play her way.
That's fine. I actually got endurance up to like 10 pretty much straight away, so you saved me.
That's why I made that suggestion. So
It's what I do.
You know, it's funny. I was watching you play, and then I started looking at Fallout 4. I'm like, I don't know. I do love Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a great game.
Yeah, I never really got into Fallout. Well, I played a little bit of Fallout 3, but apparently, according to the Steam store, it really doesn't like anything after Windows 7 to run it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it has like a warning on the store page itself saying like it just won't run like on Windows 7 or later. I don't know why. That's why I've never picked it up. So I picked up New Vegas and I tried that, but I could never get into it from how like, I don't know, dull the whole environment was. It was kind of depressing.
Wow. We're 2 minutes in and you and I are about to fight.
Oh, I'm going to have to leave.
Fallout New Vegas is the best. Okay, first of all, let me just say thank you very much for the biddies, Mr. Green. Big ups. Whoop, whoop. And Mr. Green also says Fallout 3 needs to be patched to work. So I'm guessing there's probably some sort of compatibility patch if you wanted to.
Right, okay. I'd be interested in that one.
So I've been into the Fallout series since before the first game even came out.
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't know how much you know about role-playing games, but so there's, I'm sure you've heard of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of GURPS?
No.
Okay. So GURPS stands for Generic Universal Role-Playing System. It's put up by a company called Steve Jackson Games, and it's a fantastic role-playing system. And the reason it's called that is the idea is you learn one system and then you can apply it to any setting. You want to play Star Wars, you can play Star Wars in it. You want to play
Dragons, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's a generic system, right?
Right, okay.
So who was it that developed the first one? Was it Black Isle Entertainment or was it I can't remember. Whoever it was.
I'm not sure.
They wanted to create a game that was based off of a previous game that was called Wasteland. They wanted to create a spiritual successor to this game called Wasteland. And they partnered with Steve Jackson Games to use GURPS. So everyone who liked GURPS was super excited. They're like, GURPS is finally getting a game. It's going to be set in this post-apocalyptic environment.
Okay.
But then about a couple months into development, they had a falling out, and Steve Jackson Games and Black Isle or whatever split, and they continued developing Fallout with their own engine.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. But where I was going with that was I've been into the Fallout series for a long time, and Fallout New Vegas is my favorite.
That's fair. I mean, I've got nothing against it other than I just couldn't get into it because of, I don't know, the environment just felt dull. It was very brown. It was a very brown game.
They did get a lot of criticism for that, but if you ever played Fallout 3, there's the same criticism. It's just gray instead of brown.
Yeah, I just don't know what it was about New Vegas, specifically, because 3 I played for like a good 6-8 hours. Whereas I could only play 2 or 3 hours of New Vegas, and I can't even remember where I got up to. I think I died somewhere out in the wasteland to some travelers, which I accidentally shanked.
Well, see, the other thing too is Fallout 1 and 2 were also very brown. They were set in that Mojave desert wasteland. Yeah. So a lot of people looked at New Vegas as it was harkening back to the, 1 and 2. Whatever. I'm sure you can mod it and put colors in and
make everything purple.
I've actually been trying to convince. Rock and Rage just rated us with 9 viewers, and
nice.
And I've been trying to convince him. He's been thinking about playing Fallout 4, and I'm like, New Vegas. So I don't know. It's a great game, But you're like me. You're a variety streamer. You tend to play like a game for a while, and then you move on to another game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
Before you were playing Fallout, you were playing
the Forest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been very good. I mean, from the beginning, it was kind of creepy with the whole like cannibal setting. I like the vibe that the devs were going for, where there's just total silence. There's absolutely like no background music, because it's kind of, when you turn music off in a game, you kind of feel very isolated and alone. It's almost as if like the music is filling in that gap for you, kind of making you feel safe. So I respect like the direction they went in with it being like very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can hear like the cannibal screams off in the distance, and you're like, okay, I'm genuinely scared because I don't even have music to calm me. You just have like tweeting of birds or like flickering of the fire, and that's it. So it was done really well.
Did you ever play Alien Isolation?
I did not. I own it, but I've never played it yet.
I'm not a fan of scary games, but Alien Isolation is one of the best games I've ever played. And they...
Oh, really?
What you were just saying, I got that same feeling during Alien Isolation, that they do such an amazing job of using sound effects and silence to really set a tone.
It's amazing what you can do with a lack of sound as well as with sound, because sound really makes the game, but proper use of negative sound,
yes,
it can be really, really powerful.
Hey, you know what I've never gotten from you, and that I'd love to get, and it's because Mr. Green and Stark Draws are here. How about one of those, it's not like I like you or anything, but Bakas?
Okay. It's not like I like you or anything, Baka.
Yes! I give you one of those every time you come in, because I love you. You know that. You know I love it.
It always makes all of us laugh.
The funny thing is, I have no... Like, I was just talking to someone earlier today. They were talking about they go to an anime convention and they do cosplay and this and that. And I'm like, I respect all the work that goes into these cosplay, but since I don't watch any anime, I don't understand any of the references. And they're like, Baka Desu.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry.
I mean, a lot of the time it's just like weeb speak, where they just kind of like throw in a bunch of words they've heard from anime in like a sentence that just does not make sense.
Yeah. Sundre. Sundri. I don't know.
Tsundere.
I don't know. Mr. Green, you can do ! quote space add space and then the quote if you want to add it to the quote list. By the way, anyone can add quotes, so there you go. Baka desu. I don't know. Okay, here's my anime experience. When I was a kid, I watched Akira, and then when I was a little bit older, I had a girlfriend who was in love with the oh God, why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden? Cat Bus, Totoro, Spirited Away, Mononoke.
Oh, Studio Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli, thank you. So I watched all the Studio Ghibli movies, and that's about it. And then I think when Pokemon first was on the air, I watched a couple episodes of that, and that was...
I think my first like animes were same as everyone else, like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, or just Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
It was If you haven't seen Dragon Ball, you at least need to see that, Ref. You need to. It's classic.
My interest in watching Dragon Ball Z is under 9,000. That's
over 9,000.
No, it's under. I just, but you know what, Sarah? I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, and it's funny because I was telling Chat, I was just telling Sarah that I don't like talking about my life prior to when I was 18 years old. It's just a weird thing about me.
Hmm.
When I was a kid, we didn't even have a television in my house until I was 8 years old.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I never was a TV kid, and
Hmm.
it carried on through. I just don't watch a lot of TV.
I mean, I've never really been into TV, weirdly enough, considering I have basically a TV show anyway. But I've never been into TV. I don't really watch TV shows. I don't really watch many films either. I'm more just like constant gamer.
Yeah, I was always that way too. I would always rather be doing something, and if it was nice out when I was younger, I was always outside. I was outside from sun up till sundown. My parents had the rule in the house was you come home when the street lights turn on. Like we expect you home when the street lights come on.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then when it was nice, I mean, the weather wasn't any good out, I'd be in the house. I'd be reading or playing board games, or I don't know. Star Trek was like my big thing as a kid. I liked watching Star Trek and reading Rainbow, and that's about it for television shows. You don't have Reading Rainbow over there in the UK, though.
Never heard of it. No, so no.
Yeah. I do have Netflix. When I met my wife, she was paying something like $150 a month for satellite TV. And I was like, why? You watch like the Home and Garden channel and that's it. Like that's all you like why are you spending so much money on TV? And so we compromised and we got Netflix, and we've had Netflix for 10 plus years ever since.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I watch TV, the only reason I'd ever watch TV is basically the Food Channel, because I just love watching like any food show.
What's your favorite Food Channel show?
Gonna have to go with Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not a big fan.
I love me some Guy Fieri.
I'm not a huge Guy Fieri fan, but there's a reason, because I have one asshole friend who always calls me Guy Fieri because of the... and because I used to be very fat. I don't know if you know this. But I don't know if you know this. I've lost 70 pounds over the last 9 months.
Jesus.
70.
I wish I could lose that now.
You know what? I'm a lazy son of a bitch. I'll tell you how I did it. Just cut the portion sizes down and make healthier choices. That's it. People are like, oh, you must be exercising. Nope, too lazy for that. Well, you must be on some sort of weird diet. Nope, I wouldn't stick to it. It's just cutting the portion sizes down. That's like, because I was eating so much.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a diet for like 2 months now, and I think I limit myself like 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day, which is like a lot under what I should be having. So I'm basically cutting portion sizes as well.
Good.
And I've lost a lot of weight over the last 2 months, which is really, really good.
That is fantastic. And they say, listen, honestly, you may want to lose, like, let's say you want to lose 25, but you only lose 10.
Yeah.
But you should still be happy that you lost 10, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're still losing it.
I'll tell you my favorite show. Okay, so my favorite shows. Have you ever seen Cutthroat Kitchen with Alton Brown?
I have actually seen Cutthroat Kitchen, yeah.
That's my favorite show. Second to that is Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon
Ramsay,
but the UK version. When they brought it over to the US, they killed it. They made it terrible.
Oh.
The UK version was great, though, because you really got the feeling like Gordon Ramsay was trying to help those people. But the American version, it's just like, oh, let's just get him swearing and bleep it out. And it's...
Yeah. It's because it just sells.
Yeah.
Anything with Gordon Ramsay in is funny, though. He's hilarious.
I'm an idiot sandwich, Mr. Green.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
Yes. The only good episode is the bakery one. And the only reason that one is a good one, I don't know if you know what they're talking about, but there was an episode where I think it was the first one where Gordon Ramsay just finally said, I can't help these people because they were just insane. Like they were legitimately insane. It wasn't even that episode that made it. It was the internet, and it just became this meme, and like these idiots just were like attacking Gordon Ramsay on the internet and making things 1,000 times worse. Amy's Baking Company. Yes, that's it.
Amy's Baking Company.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. TV. So for those of you who this is your first time watching the Palaver, this is all this is. It's just two people just shooting the shit. with no real goal in
Having a
mind.
coffee.
Although I will say this. I wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to talk about this. You were telling me that there's something going on. You're working on a game? You're working on a card game?
Yes. I mean, I was saving it up until now to announce it to my own viewers as well.
Save it. Please don't let me force it out of you.
Oh no, it's fine. Like I was waiting till tonight. I was gonna as a surprise for both your viewers and mine. But essentially, in the background, like my viewers have known that I've been working on a secret project, but all that's been uttered is secret project. But yeah, secret's out. I've been working or concepting heavily into it at the moment. A card game. It's a co-op card game, which is 4-player, and it's a dungeon crawler / roguelike style card game. Similar mechanics to Dungeons and Dragons, Darkest Dungeon, and Munchkin. If you've ever played Munchkin,
There you go. Just take it. Take the money. Take the money.
take it all.
I want it. I'm in. I'm in. You said so many key triggers for me right now. Do you understand? Card game, co-op, dungeon crawler, roguelike, Dungeons and Dragons, Darkest Dungeon. What? What? Are you kidding me, Sarah? I want it. I want it. I don't even know anything else about it other than I want it now. I want in.
Yeah, so anyway, the name of the game is called Aldrazad, which is the name of the cursed labyrinth that the game resides in. So basically, the whole point of the game is everyone is dealt a random class at the start of the game. So you don't get to pick. You're assigned random classes, and you basically have to deal with what you're given. And then you head on into the labyrinth, and so to start with, you draw a room card, and the room card is essentially where you end up. And the rooms can be, let's just pick some examples. So you could go into like a forest, a glade. You could appear on an island. You could appear in a jungle, in the mountains. Essentially, you go into a different biome each time, and each biome you go in has a keyword, like sort of like Hearthstone, where it will affect your party or all of the monsters you fight in this area. So essentially, you draw a card, and your party is now in this biome. And then you roll a d6, and there are 6 keywords on the card, and it will tell you what kind of room you have gone in. So, for example, you could go into a burning jungle or a waterlogged jungle. So there's 50 room cards, but there's technically 300 areas you could go in based on the dice roll.
Mm-hmm.
So once you're in a room, you can trade loot amongst yourselves if you need to, and then you go into the draw phase. When you go in the draw phase, everyone draws a card from the action card pile, and this can have either exploration cards or monster cards. So if you draw a monster card, you're now considered in battle. And if you draw an exploration card, you have to do your exploration first before any battles take place. And then we go on to the action phase. So you can choose to either rest, where you restore 1 health. If you did an explore card, you have to do whatever the card says on it. So it could be like exploring to find some loot, or to like purchase from merchants or something. And if you are in a boss battle, everyone who drew a monster card is now in a battle together in the same fight. So, for example, it'll always be like 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 1-on-1, etc. And then basically how the fighting works in the game is you have a hero dice and a monster dice. So it'll be like, for example, blue or red. Haven't decided on color scheme or anything.
Still just be 6-siders, but just
it'll be d6. Okay. Yeah. So you'll have like a blue and a red dice. You'll shake them, roll. Hero dice is blue, and basically what you do is this is how you do like each attack. So if your number is rolled higher than theirs, then you do a successful attack and you take 1 damage or you take 1 health off the monster. If you roll lower, you lose 1 health, and if you roll equal, then you clash, and it's basically a blocked attack and nothing happens. You keep doing this until one of you is dead.
Until someone dies.
Essentially, until someone dies. You can choose to flee at any moment, but if you do flee, you take 1 damage for free. So you can't flee on 1 health or you'll be killed. And then if the player kills the enemy that they played, they receive gold equal to the enemy's level. And if the enemy was a higher level than the player, they gain a level. Everyone starts at level 0. And yeah, if the player flees from the battle, then they receive 1 damage for free.
Sorry, chat is just cracking me up. I said, I wish you guys could know how much I'm into this. And Bebop, who knows me pretty well, she goes, no, your face is in concentration mode. I can tell you're into this. Yeah, I'm super into this. I mean, you can't see it because there's a green screen in the way. But if I took my green screen down, like right at the edge right here, you would see a closet. And if I move my camera and showed you my closet, it's full of board and card games.
Oh, nice.
I'm so into card games.
Nice.
So let me ask you a little bit. It sounds like you really got an interesting concept. So you said it's a 4-player cooperative game. So all 4 players are going to be working together?
Yes,
and then
you all work together because there will be certain mechanics which will be more powerful against certain classes. You'll be weak to certain things, so you need to watch out for each other. Essentially, the aim of the game is you need to beat 5 bosses, ascend through the labyrinth. So each boss you kill, you ascend up another floor, kind of like a pyramid. And when you reach the top, you fight the 5th boss, and you finally ascend through the roof, and you are now free. Yeah. Because the doorways in the labyrinth, the whole theme of the Cursed Labyrinth is when you pass through a doorway, it's just a portal. And when you go through the portal, it seals behind you, and you're in a new biome. When you go forwards, you're not essentially going forwards. You could be going sideways, downwards, upwards. You have no idea. So the way to break the curse is to kill 5 bosses, obtain their gems, and then ascend through the roof, which is essentially the only way out. It's the only way which isn't a portal.
No, Sarah's not streaming. You're not streaming right now, are you? No, you're
I'm not streaming.
Yeah, you hosted me, so you can't be. Let me ask you a question. So, someone, first of all, did you see Musoko's hot fire lyrics that he spat for you?
TheKawaiiCub is her name, and she's designing a game. It's going to be great, and we all know her fate. She's going to get fortune and fame.
And nice then Musoko also asked if you have artists, or if you need an artist, if you've got that lined up.
I don't have any artists lined up or anything. This is purely in concept stage still. It's heavily in development. I've done hundreds of hours of work on it, but yeah, I haven't started on any art, haven't even thought of any artists or anything.
Yeah. Well, the reason... So, here's a question I have. Do you think you would have a working prototype of the game before September?
Before September? So that would be 3 months?
Yeah.
Just under 3 months? It's possible.
Even if it's a no art version. And the reason I ask is because if you've got everything else set up, like let's say you've got a Kickstarter set up, website, whatever it is you want to do. I go to a gaming convention every year in September, and if you have a working playable prototype, I would be happy to take it with me and pass out, business cards to the website.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool.
And I've gone every year since high school. So
nice.
I mean, I know all the people.
Die-hard fan.
So
that would be really cool. I will definitely keep that in mind. Yeah. But yeah, I've been hard at work at it every night, basically.
It sounds like, I really can tell as you're talking about it, the level of passion and detail that you've got in there, and you can tell. So okay, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since 1984. So I recognize in other people when they're talking about their world that they've built, I'm like, oh, I can see the passion. can see it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the key thing about this is it doesn't follow a generic fantasy style. You don't have your elves and your dwarves and your humans. You have this entire game actually takes place in the same world that the Grand Arena takes place in that you've seen.
We do want to talk about in a second. Let me just say thank you very much, Navres, for the resubs. 6 months. Thank you very much. Big ups. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
You got double whoops for that, Navres. Yeah, I do want to talk about the Grand Arena too, by the way, because that's another thing that's really awesome. But I wanted to just talk about this a little more. So it's not classic fantasy, but it's class based, right?
Yes.
How many classes are there going to be? Because I know you said at the beginning it's going to be a random deal to see what class you get. You don't get to choose.
Yeah. So currently there are 12 classes planned. However, I already have an expansion lined up as well for if the game was successful, then I would want to put the expansion in as a stretch goal. The expansion would have an additional 4 classes to add in, and also the expansion would open it up so the game was 6-player. As in, you could play the game 6-player, but you could also play 4-player. But you can only play 6-player with the expansion because it would add certain mechanics that essentially make it so it would open up more of the labyrinth. So it basically invites more adventurers because, you know, these untold riches, that there's actually more than we thought there was before. So you invite bigger parties so you can do a 6-player.
And I imagine with that, you'd probably have to kill more than 5 bosses, maybe like 7 or something.
Yeah, 7
you'd
or
have
8.
to.
Yeah.
I'm
but essentially,
with you. I like that it's a random class, too, because that prevents from like, oh, yeah, you want to go with a cleric and an assassin and an acrobat and blaster, and that's like the overpowered build.
Yeah, it's completely random. I mean, people can like choose whatever the hell they want because they've bought the game. Do whatever you want.
But
buy it and burn it for all I care. but yeah, it's essentially the official rules are everyone gets a random class and you have to deal with the class that you've been given. You are assigned this. But essentially, everyone starts at level 0. And at level 0, every class has a passive effect. Everyone starts with 5 life, and that doesn't change other than when you equip certain loot cards, which could be armor, weapons, potions, anything. So everyone starts at level 0, and their passive makes that class incredibly unique because they can do something that no other class can do. So, for example, the Alchemist, their passive is Green Thumb. When you use any potion, you can roll a d6, and if you roll a 5 or a 6, then you do not discard the potion. So they have a chance to do it, and at level 5, 10, and 15, they either improve upon their passive or gain new effects as well as their passive. So the level 15 Alchemist never discards potions.
Just all day. Just all day. Just double fisting potions. Just glug, 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 glug.
Yes.
And now... Come on, you've been streaming long enough to know that you don't do that on screen.
Oh, no, I do that on... I mean, I have a lewd emote.
Okay. All right. That looked slightly sus, Dosrev. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry. I speak Murica, so I realize slightly sus sounds sort of British. I don't know. But listen, one of the things I want to talk to you about, so for anyone who's here who hasn't seen Sarah when she's streaming on twitch.tv/TheKawaiiCub, she does something I think that's really, really cool. And what that is when she takes little breaks from her game, she'll take like, you know, every streamer does that. They sort of take little mental checkout breaks for a minute or two. What she does is she swaps her game over, and she's got a game that plays with your subscribers. Like your subscribers get to enter the arena. Yep. And it's completely all controlled by the computer, but you wrote it. I've actually seen you coding it on your stream.
Yeah, I did.
Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about that? Because it's really, I think, one of the really interesting things about your stream that I've been there and I've seen you coding it, and then I get to... And like sometimes you'll be like, the Jester is too powerful. The Jester wins every fight. And you'll go in and you'll like change the Jester's
Yeah, like different variables and stuff.
Yeah, bell attack from 0.9 to 0.6. That'll be better. And then
Yeah. Yeah, essentially, the Grand Arena, or the full name, the Grand Arena of Tyrasia, which is the universe that both Aldrazad and the Grand Arena are set in. Um, it's a fully AI-based, like 4-player deathmatch. Essentially, it's top-down, like kind of like isometric top-down, and essentially, my subs can pay 25,000 kawaii coins, which is my channel's currency, to create a fighter. It's a one-time thing. It's basically just so people can't sub, make a character, and then never come back, and they're always in the list, because I don't want that. I kind of want like regular people of the stream to be a part of it. But essentially, I will pull their name from a list, and I'll take 4 people from the list and put them into like the betting with my bot. Then once everyone's bet, we'll switch on over to the Grand Arena, and essentially all I have to do after like coding everything, it's set up so all I have to do is type in exactly their username, and it will load all their stats. It'll load what race they are playing, what class they're playing, and the battle will just like go. Everything is completely automated. Nothing's rigged or anything. Unlike my chat, who constantly think it's rigged, but
rigged. Yeah, I see that
Rigged.
constantly. Rigged. I see
Yeah.
that constantly.
that's why I
whenever-
put the rigged emote in, the rigged command. But yeah, it's fully automated. It's had tens of thousands of lines of code. I finished it after about 6 weeks, I say it took. But yeah, essentially every race has a passive effect and stat modifiers. So like if you play as for example an Arlen Berserker, you will have completely different stats to a Farahi Berserker, because their modifiers to health and damage are slightly different. So as well as having like a passive, they also have stat modifiers. Then the class themselves have a passive effect, and they also have a special attack. So they'll have their normal attacks, and then like every 5 to 15 seconds, based on what class it is, they will also have a special attack. So, for example, the Berserker has Seismic Slam, where it basically slams down and rocks fly in the direction, and it will stun any enemy that it collides with for a few seconds.
I have to say, that's been one of the least impressive special abilities. Every time I see them use it, it seems like people can shoot the rocks out of the air or just dodge it. I've seen that
I mean, if it does happen, though, it's a very, very powerful stun, and it also does a lot of damage. That's why it's, you can dodge it to an extent. And obviously that's like completely different to the Necromancer, where their basic attack is weak, but their main theme is every like 3 seconds they can summon a floating skull, which is essentially just like a randomly walking mine, because anyone that collides with it will just it'll just explode on them and deal damage. But they just throw them everywhere, and their passive is as when they hit an enemy with basic attack, they rip their soul out of them, and when the soul returns to them, they heal for a percentage of the target's health. So they're really powerful against tanks because they heal more, because they have more health. But also when the soul returns to them, they're empowered, and their next summons 3 skulls instead of 1. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I've tried to make them all very easy.
I did see one arena match where you had 2 necromancers in it, and those goddamn skulls were they're
just everywhere.
Everywhere. Like, and it did, I believe it came down to the 2 necromancers in the end, and I think it was just because the other 2 people just kept running into these landmine skulls.
Yeah. It's basically just area denial.
Yeah. But to get back to the point that I was saying, though, it's such an interesting... It's so interesting that... Like, I mean, when I have to go AFK for a minute or two, I put up an AFK screen. You usually sit there while that arena is running and sort of announce it like...
I like to commentate on it, because I like being like the commentator for this like deathmatch, because I'm the only one that really like truly understands everything about the races and the classes. I know how they function, so I know like, oh my god, the Peacekeeper just hit for 1,000 damage. That means they like took a load of damage and then repelled it all back at someone. so I can really like commentate on that. Like a lot of the time people are just like, oh my god, so much damage, but I can say like why everything's happening, because I mean it's my universe and I coded it as well.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like the Grand Arena of Terazia, uh, as a program, is complete, is coded, is done?
I would say it's complete. I mean, I didn't go live with it for the first time until it was complete. And when I started, I did a 16-player tournament, which was pretty cool. Salamander Ginger was the victor, the Irvin assassin, and she now has a unique cosmetic where a little Roman numeral 1 with a crown floats around and like wiggles and always follows her around. So that is like a unique cosmetic. I am planning for the future to have cosmetics which are purchasable with kawaii coins, so you can like dress up your character to make it really unique, different hairstyles, wings, you name it.
Well, here's the reason I mentioned that. Have you considered trying to get it on Steam Greenlight?
The main I've had quite a lot of people say this to me, and my main like reply to that would be for growing big on Twitch, there's only so much you can do by just playing games and having a decent personality. The longer I've streamed for, I've come to realize that all the bigger streamers have some form of selling point. And that's a big thing. And whenever people have asked me, like, you know, oh, this would be amazing, I like loads of people would buy this and have it for their streams. And then, but I think, but I don't have to, because this is mine and this is my selling point. If people want to see the Grand Arena of Terazia, they come to me.
Yes, that's true. But I think that you might be missing out on a very potential huge possibility for, one, growing your own stream, and two, an additional revenue stream, which is, let's just say you put it on Steam Greenlight, it got approved, you sold it for $4.99, and you know you know how Steam puts stuff on sale. Occasionally it went down for $2.50 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know what Steam takes, but let's just assume it's 50%. You're still making $2.50 off of every sale, and you just put right in there. You can talk to the creator directly at twitch.tv/TheKawaiiCub. You can even put branding right in the game. You could even put it in the game so that like the floor of the arena has your little logo and your Twitch URL, but then when people buy it, they can switch it for their URL, etc. And so you'd be, I think, I mean, so your line about if people want to see the Grand Arena of Terazia, they come to your stream. Yes, if they know about it, right? But
that's true.
How many millions of people watch Twitch every year and have no idea it exists?
I mean, the big thing for it is I made it as a selling point so that when people join for the first time, they want to stick around because of it. It's not like, oh, have you heard about this crazy game that this one streamer has? It's not that. It's not really a getting people into the stream thing. It's more of a, you're now a part of my community, and this is what I gave back to my subs. I mean, I did say that I was working on a game specifically for my subs. This is like, it's a sub-only thing, and I wanted it to be, this is my reward for your support over this time. And I'm going to constantly update it because I love it. I love the Grand Arena. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun seeing, like, you know, rivalries between certain characters as well. It's like, oh no, the assassin's so much better, and it's like, yeah, but I beat you last game.
Well,
so yeah,
I can tell you've given that a lot of thought, and that was really the reason I was asking. Is I'm not trying to change your mind about anything. Other than to say that if it was on sale, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I don't know.
Yeah, I've already had about 5 people say they'd buy it in a heartbeat. The problem is the main point you brought up is if I was to sell it, you know, there's potentially loads of people that could buy it, but I can't guarantee that loads of people are going to buy it, because just because it's on Steam doesn't mean people actually want to get it.
That's very true.
I mean, it was designed for for streaming purposes, but if people didn't really get the whole like it's for streaming purposes thing, people are going to be like, this is kind of a shallow game, really. I mean,
I think the game itself is, I mean, in fairness, you can say the game itself is shallow, but
Hmm.
any game can be interesting depending on the streamer, and you make it
Yeah.
interesting. You know,
Hmm.
as someone said in chat, you shoutcast
Yeah.
the matches. If
Hmm.
if someone bought the game and then just put it up and was like, yeah, here's 4 viewers, and then just sat there like this,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be boring as hell.
Hmm.
But you make it interesting, and you definitely, it's one of the things that I think is really interesting about your stream when you do. But again, I think one of the things that really interests me is that I've seen you working on it and seen you going into the coding, and like
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
knowledge that you built that on your stream, and now your viewers can be a part of it. Like, I don't know, I think it's really cool.
It's quite funny looking back on it, really, because I had like some people watching from the very first prototype where I'd worked on it for a night, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do something for the first time ever. I'm going to be coding tomorrow on tomorrow's stream. Going to be doing 5 or 6 hours of coding. Feel free to watch. And lots of people were genuinely interested. They were just like I can imagine. Well, people were saying in chat that everyone was just like, but yeah, it's kind of cool because the first prototype was just a bunch of red boxes shooting blue like darts at each other, and now I've got like particle effects for literally everything. Different, like they even have like weapons. They like hold weapons and they're like constantly aiming at each other. It's
Yeah. For anyone who isn't following Sarah, please, twitch.tv/TheKawaiiCub. 100% worth checking out. Let me, TheKawaiiCub. By the way, let me just also real quick say, I'm really sorry. I think when you rated me earlier, I was so busy thinking about showing you the new little video I made that I forgot to give you a shout out then.
oh god, that's fine. You don't need to give me a shout out. Seriously.
I just feel bad. So my thing about this is whenever anyone hosts me or whatever, or raids me or anything like that, if there's someone that I like I genuinely enjoy coming into your stream and I genuinely enjoy watching you and hanging out in your channel,
Thanks.
I want my viewers to know this is someone that I like, you know? And
Yeah, I mean, I make sure I make a big deal of any streamers that I like as well.
Yeah. I mean, you've got such a great community. And I think that's one of the best compliments you can pay to another streamer is tell them, you've done a great job building your community. You've got fantastic people there.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Green, Stark Draws, Idealist Ali. I'm sure there are other people who, as soon as I think of them, I'll be like, how could I forget so-and-so? But, you know, like, there's so many people, when I come into your chat, it's just people like, hey, Rev. And the fact that
everyone's
they know,
just so friendly.
Yeah.
I mean that's what I've always strived for from the very beginning. I went through maybe 2-3 months with only having like 1 or 2 viewers, and it was mostly just like friends I knew, and I was just like, can you just like lurk all day for me, and so I'm not on a 0. And it was kind of like I was making friends with other like 0 viewer people, and like trying to help each other grow, and just being as friendly as possible, trying to build like a really, really friendly, supportive community. And I really do think I've done that. I mean, you can have your own opinions about whether or not you yourself are like a decent streamer, or the errors you do throughout the day, or could have done this better or whatever. But at the end of the day, your community, you can just say, no, my community is fantastic. I get 100%.
I mean, I'm pretty proud of my community that I've built.
Your community is great. Like the first time I got there, and I was just like, oh my god, everyone's so receptive to like, because some people you just like raid, and you like raid them, and they'll be like, oh, thanks for the raid, and the streamer will make a big deal of it, and you'll just have one person in chat be like, oh my god, a raid. And then it's kind of like, wow, this is a ghost town in here.
I don't ever feel too bad about my chat not being active if you raid me. You have to understand, I will have, like today, I think I peaked around 50 viewers. Honestly, like 90 to 95% of the people watching my stream, they're busy at work. I mean,
it's the same for me as well. I do have a lot of people that like watch at work, but they're like, oh, I don't have sound on, or I just want to watch what you're playing, but sorry, I can't like engage in conversation. But my philosophy is, I'm running a TV show. I'm not expecting you to talk to your TV, so just watch. I don't mind if you don't want to engage.
Yeah, and you always make new friends and you always meet new people. Why,
Hmm.
hello, is that Lori changed her name? It used to be Why Hello Lori, but she dropped the Y, and now it's just Hello Lori. Hello Lori. Um, I think one of the things that's really neat though is when you have that, like, okay, so I have one guy who has been watching me for a year and a half. He came on early. And
Hmm.
when I made the switch from streaming at nights to streaming during the day, he would come in and be like, "I'm at work, I won't be talking." And I go, "Oh,
Hmm.
that's no problem." He goes, "But I'll just be listening quietly, but I can't talk." No problem. And
Yeah.
then I would do an entire 6 hour stream, and I'd wrap up the stream, and he'd be like, "Great show today, Rev," and that'd be it. Like, I'd be like, "Holy
Hmm.
shit, that guy was watching me for 6 hours." Like, I
Hmm.
understand he probably had the volume turned way down.
Yeah.
But, like,
I mean,
that's
I have it all the time as well. Like, when you're streaming, like later for me, it'll be the same with the Brian J or Mr. Green, who both stream later than me. A lot of the time, I mean, going back to the Aldrazad thing, a lot of the time I'm working on that and I just have to turn it down and I can't really interact much with their chat. I'm still, because I mod for both of them, I'm
Mhm.
still like hawk-eyed on chat, but I'm just like working away and got them quietly in the background for me. It's just, it can't get in the way of life, but you still want to support
And
your favorite.
you don't you also have that feeling like, well, I don't want to miss anything. Like, I think this person's a great streamer, but at the same time, like, I've got like 8 people who are streaming right now who I would want to watch. So
Yeah,
let me just open
you
a
just
tab for
can't
each one of them,
watch.
and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I don't know. The I got to be honest. The only person I really try my hardest to really go out of my way to watch is
Hmm.
Rock and Rage and Chad. He's like my number one. He's like my brother from another mother. He's a little older than me,
Hmm.
and we just connect on the experienced gamer level.
Yeah,
You know,
that's cool. That's cool.
um, but
Yeah, it's
it's
the same with
so
me and
hard.
Brian.
It's so hard when there's so many great streamers out there. Like I said, I try to tune into your stream at least once or twice a week.
Hmm.
But at the same time, then there's okay. Well, then there's this person, and that person, this person, that
Yeah,
person.
exactly. There's just so many. There's so many really, really like deserving people on this site. There's lots of people that stream for the hell of it, and then there's people who are like genuinely putting in hundreds of hours of like work,
Mhm.
like in the background, just to make it, you know, the best they could possibly make. They like really want to make something of it. They really want to have a community that just wants to tune in and chill with them. Like, I still find it weird, like saying that I have fans. 'Cause then at the end of the day, they are fans, but it feels weird to call them fans. I just refer to everyone in chat as friends.
Yeah, just friends. Yeah, I'm with you. I Hey, I've been a member of the Team MZ community since 2016. I recently was made a
Mhm.
leader in that community, so it's like me
Hmm.
and like 9 or 10 other
Hmm.
leaders that
Yeah.
run this community of 7,000 people. Then I've got
Jeez.
my own community that I've built.
Uh
And then
huh.
I've got all these other communities that I love, like even your community, the Kawaii Den. What do you
Kawaii Club.
Kawaii Club? Club.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was getting it confused with Shadow Fox's Fox Den. Sorry.
All right. Okay.
And there's all these communities, and I literally I think to myself, if I did nothing in my entire life other than sleep, eat, and network on my various, I still couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
And
There's just
it's
too many decent people to watch.
yeah, and not even just to watch, but like, you know, just to interact with. Like, some people just live on Discord, and I'll pop into my various Discords and say hi every morning, and then like, okay, now I gotta go. I gotta go to the grocery store and the bank, and I gotta go pay a bill, and then I gotta shower and shave, and then I have to stream, and then that's 6 hours. I always tell people I say I'm a full-time streamer now, because
Hmm.
even though I only stream for 32 to 35 hours a week,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, but then there's like 100+ hours that I'm doing stuff off screen that you guys aren't
Hmm.
seeing.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. I do 35-hour weeks because I do 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I do so much in the background as well that people just, I mean, they might not see because it might be like background settings. It might be like setting up like new overlay. It might be doing like graphic work in the background. It might even be doing like bot stuff, but there's always something I'm working on. There's, yeah, like you said, like hundreds of hours that you're doing in the background per month that people just don't see.
Mm-hmm.
They just see those 5-6 hours of stream and they just base it on that. But you've got 100 hours in that 5 or 6 that you hope doesn't waste.
Hey, let me ask you a quick question. Have you had anyone who's come by your stream and you can tell they genuinely like what you're doing and they are a fan of what you're doing, but their energy is just wrong for your stream?
Yes.
I'm dealing with that right now.
Mr. Green?
No, not right this second. I mean, like over the last 2 weeks. So I picked up a new viewer recently, and he's super excited about my channel, and he's really nice. He's really friendly, but he brings this crazy, like, manic energy, and I kind of want to keep telling him, like, dude,
just calm down a bit.
Just bring it down. Like, you're here. Just bring it down to like here. You know, like. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that kind of like where you can tell that they love you and they want to be a part of what you're doing, but
I mean, I've spoken to my mods like extensively about this. Shout out to Stark Draws and Mr. Green, who do a fantastic job. I've spoken like extensively about how like chat should be handled. It's kind of like if someone's acting out of line for whatever reason, like if they're just being like too over the top, then they'll just get like subtle warning or something like, "Oh, calm it down. It's cool. Like she knows what she's doing," and then they carry on. It's like, okay, we're being serious now, like because your mods are basically an extension of yourself. They project what you want just in text form, and then it's kind of like, you know, I can see that they're going against the mods, and I'm like, okay. The mods have now been saying, you know, about this, like, just calm it down a bit, you know, keep a smile going, keep your personality in check, and just make sure you know that like you're in charge. Please, like, you know, you need to calm it down because you're now disrupting the stream. Because I'm now like not playing, I'm talking specifically to you. And then if they carry on, it's kind of like, okay, maybe a timeout is needed because you've now ignored like 3 times.
Yeah.
I like to operate on a 3-strike system. I really, really try to operate on like I like to be as likable as possible. I want people to feel comfortable in the stream. I've had like some people who have been like, you know, not really understanding of the whole like trans thing or anything, and you know, my mods or chat will be like, oh no, yeah, you know, she's a girl, she identifies as a girl or whatever, and they'll be like, oh no, I wasn't trying to be like an asshole or anything, I didn't know. And you know, you slowly ease them into the community that way. It's like, oh no, like you're fine, you're not in trouble or anything, I'm very, you know, forgiving, understanding, whatever. But yeah, you kind of just have to ease them into the whole thing.
Well, I think that's a large part of it, right? Being willing to say, "Listen, it's okay. I'm not upset, but now you know." You know.
Yeah.
I told Sarah off stream I was an ally before the A was even ever added to the acronym. I was 5 years old when my parents and I took 5-year-old me and marched in a gay pride parade. My parents were hippies. You know, what are you gonna do? But that was the way I was brought up. And even if I wasn't, just common decency would say, hey, if someone wants to refer to themselves as Space Overlord Sarah, was it hurt to say, all right, how's it going, Space Overlord Sarah? Like, whatever you want to call yourself, does it hurt me at all to refer to you as that? No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like, all other... you know, I also I don't talk politics, but I'm also libertarian, so I'm in the middle. And one of the things about libertarian is like, do whatever you want to do. If it doesn't affect me, then you
Yeah.
should be free to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that's one of the big things I don't understand about people who get weird about other people's sexuality. It's like it's not about you. It's them.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's me. Why do you like you could leave now and never come back, and I wouldn't affect your life.
right? I've just
Yeah.
never understood that. I've never understood. The funniest was when I was in high school, right? I was sticking up for one of the gay kids in my high school. And this one just douchebag was like, blah, 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 you know, all this typical stupid stuff. And I'm like, let me ask you a question. What's really your problem with him? And he's like, you know, he gave the typical, oh, I just don't want no dude hitting on me. I'm like, don't worry.
But he's not going to, because you're being an asshole to him.
You're overweight.
Why is he going to hit on you?
You're overweight, you're not attractive, and you're an asshole. Don't worry, he's not going to. That's fine.
Like, I don't want him.
Good.
I don't want him hitting on me. Yeah, I know, but he's not going to hit on you because you're treating him like shit. Why would he want to? Yeah, I don't get it. Some people are just hateful for no reason.
I'll tell you another thing too. I'm straight. I've had gay guys hit on me. It's flattering. It's flattering. Whenever anyone thinks that you're attractive, regardless of sexuality, that's flattering.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, someone likes me. That's, it's nice.
I don't know. We went to a weird place there. I'm sorry. I hope that's okay.
I'm a very open person. I really don't care.
But that's what I said. Conversation just kind of just does weird loop-de-loops, you know. Didn't Rev and Coyote have a moment though? Yes, I open mouth kissed Coyote on his stream one day.
Ooh.
Do you know Coyote Wildfire?
Yes, I've actually played Dead by Daylight with him on Mr. Green's stream.
I remember that. So one day he and his ex-fiance, he and his fiance at the time were both streaming at the same time, and I was sitting watching, and I was like, I'm bored, and then she said something like, oh, I'm out of tea, and I said, I'll bring you some, and she goes, oh, okay, LOL. But I actually got up and went and got some tea out of my kitchen, because they live about 45 minutes away from me. I just drove up there, and I just hung out. As they were both through, I just hung out, right?
Nice.
And one time someone's like, Rev, kiss Coyote. I go, all right, cheer 500 bits, and I will. And then someone cheered 500 bits, so I go, well, Coyote, I got to kiss you. So he went and he leaned in thinking I was going to kiss his cheek. I went, I grabbed his face and just yanked it around and just, ugh! It's still his number one most viewed clip on his channel.
Oh, I'm sure.
And he's been streaming for like 3 years, so. What are you gonna do?
Oh god, that's so funny.
Hey, listen, Sarah, you have been an amazing, fantastic guest. You've been a fantastic friend on Twitch. Someone I personally really enjoy watching.
Thank you.
Someone I really enjoy hanging on and stream with. Also, let me just say this, just for the record. When you drop your host bomb on me, when you choose to do that, don't ever, ever, ever feel guilty about taking off right away. I do the same thing. Like, I'll host bomb people and be like, here's a host.
Okay.
Gotta go eat dinner.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye. And I leave a lurk and I'm gone for 2 hours. Like,
yeah, it's like, I mean, yeah, I know you've said before that you don't really mind. It's more just like, I want you to know that I'm like leaving, and I do want to stick around like as long as possible. And it's like, okay, it's all right. I'm gonna start losing light now because I have like a 3-mile walk after.
Right. Well, plus
stream.
you just sat for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I get it. You want to get up, and believe me, you never have to. I mean, I understand. I appreciate it. Yes, homo. Yes, exactly. When it comes to Coyote, it is yes, homo. I love that man. Oh, I love Coyote. But yeah,
I don't blame you.
Again, again, I'm just gonna say for the record. Let me just get him a quick. Let me just get in here a quick shout out. Oh God, I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss an eye. TheKawaiiCub makes, if you are one of my viewers and you don't know Sarah, if you don't know TheKawaiiCub, just click on the link, open a new tab, hit the follow button. You won't regret it. She's fantastic.
Boom.
She's, really. Sarah's hair is a national treasure. Oh, another thing I want to talk to you about, but we didn't have time to, and we're out of time, unfortunately, is your awesome little panels in the art for the little
Mm-hmm.
panel. Is that did the same artist do your emotes?
Well, actually, the first emote was done by Idealist Ali, and she also did the miniaturization of me on all the panels. So she did the designs, I did the graphic behind it with all the text and everything. And it's Stark Draws who did the lewd emote. So I have two different artists for the emotes.
So who did the Kawaii Love?
That was Ali.
I love that one.
It's so adorable.
If I had any extra money, I would sub to you just for that one. I love Kawaii, the Kawaii Love. I love it. The lewd one is good too. I'm not gonna say it's not, but you know. All right.
Yes,
so,
she did the account emote as well. She did my profile picture. Ali did.
It's fantastic. Both of you, Stark Draws and Idealist Ali, should be very proud of yourselves. It's fantastic artwork. Bebop in chat did my channel logo. I don't know if you see the D20 that's showing the one. By the way, have you ever seen my tattoo? Have I showed you my tattoo?
No, I haven't.
So on my 40th birthday, which was just this past December, I got my very first ever tattoo on my 40th birthday.
Oh, nice.
And I told you I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since 1984.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I actually live streamed it. Coyote Wildfire filmed it the whole time I was getting it done. I streamed it to
really
Twitch.
Cool.
Yeah. But we do have to get out of here. We are actually already over time. But what we do is we do a thing. We're going to do a thing to end the stream. Then we're going to say goodbye. And then, Everin, you're going to stick around because we're going to raid into someone. So stick around for the raid. Are you ready?
Stick around.
Are you ready, Sarah, for the thing? Hopefully you don't know what the thing is because it's always better when the person doesn't know.
Okay, I probably don't.
It's always better. Okay. So we're going to do the thing, we're going to say goodbye, and then we're going to raid. So everyone else stick around. And if you're not already following, follow TheKawaiiCub on Twitch. Okay. The last word goes to you.
The last word goes to me. What, one word or just a sentence? Okay. Pizza.
Pizza. Good night, everyone.
Rev is logging out of the system. Please stand by for a raid on another Twitch